What was it like for you then to actually escape that fear and finding that you didn't have any anger left?
I think that a big part had to do with, I mean, I could say my prayers and all the work I've done, I'm in therapy, but I really think a major part that had to do with it was the love that I've received from my husband, Scott. I started being with Scott when I was in my late 20s, and now I'm 43, and we've been married for over 14 years now. And Scott is, my father was so incredibly loving and amazing to me. And then at 5 years old, he was gone, didn't come back. Scott came into my life when I was 27, and that kind of amazing, beautiful, tender, compassionate, this love that I can only remember that I had with my dad is what I found in Scott. But Scott's never left, even though I still have nightmares to this day. I'll wake him up in the middle of the night, and I'll pinch him, and I'll say, "You were with a woman in my dream, and are you leaving me for another woman?" And so I still have that terrible fear of that. But he's here with me, I just saw him walk by 2 seconds ago. I mean, I don't go anywhere without my sweetheart, so.
You also wrote a song for him.
Yeah, two on the
Two,
record.
yeah.
Well, three, actually.
And well, there's a song. I don't know if you. There's a song also called "Mechanical Heart." Is it song?
Yes.
It's something to do with you, but related to him.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you explain that song? Because there's a line: "If I only had a human touch, I'd give you the love you deserve so much."
Yeah.
Don't you think you have a human touch then?
No, because I'm mentally ill. So to me, I use mechanical heart as the description of mental illness. And with mental illness, I love him so much, but my brain and my mood shifts are so extreme that one moment I can go from being kind and sweet, and the next moment I could just be vicious and filled with rage and terror and not trust him and not trust anyone else. And he's been through so much with me. He's gone through so many hospitals with me, and he's just amazing, and I don't want to start crying. So in the song, though, I promise him that even though I'm aware that, I'm so fucked up, but I'm going to try,
If you want to
I hate
stop.
it when I cry
No,
about
it's okay.
Scotty. It's like, because that's my biggest fear is not bringing him what he deserves,
Yeah, but he's still here.
He is. He's got to
Yeah.
be nuts. He's
No,
got to
no.
be so nuts.
That means that that it was 16 years, so
Yeah.
it must be lasting then.
I think he likes crazy women because
that's good.
before he was with me, he had a lot of crazy girlfriends. So
good.
I think he
Um,
just gets excited by crazy girls,
Okay.
which is good. Thank God.
But then there's another song I think is also important for you. Maybe it's not another song that it's out in the open, but as long as I have a song. I mean, music is also important for you. I mean, there's a line in I'll get along as long as I have a song.
Yeah. So, other than my greatest fear, which is Scott dying or leaving me, is my fear of the abandonment of music. So when I'm writing, I feel my connection with God is very strong, and that's where I pray, and that's where I seek shelter. But sometimes I go in writer's block, and when that happens, I feel like God's abandoned me, the music's abandoned me, and I get really, really scared. And oftentimes, that's when I want to hurt myself or drink or do bad things like that.
Because of your writer's block.
Yes. So I'm really, really thankful that the last handful of years, the last 2.5, 3 years, I have not had any writer's block. In fact, the writing was driving me so crazy because I couldn't get it to shut off in my head that when this record was over, I said, that's it. I have to shut it myself. So this is the first time I've ever closed the door myself. But maybe because I'm older and I know that now the writer's block is not forever. I used to think when it would come that it would be forever. It was gone and that was it, But now I know that no, it's a good thing to have writer's block now because it's a time for a new well, either to be dug into the ground or for some of your other wells to be refilled.
Yeah.
This is a good time, good time.
And do you now know when the writing comes?
Honestly, it usually comes when I'm manic, which is not healthy. But when I'm more manic is when it tends to flow. Also, if I'm in a depression, but more so if I'm in mania. And I take medication, you know, to help me to get on, but I don't take it to the point where I'm like a zombie.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can still be creative. Yeah.
Well, you already mentioned well the song for your husband and for your father. What was the first song that you actually wrote for? What is the oldest song on the album?
What is the oldest song
Yeah?
on this record? It's probably Mood or Trouble. Maybe Trouble. Yeah, I think that's the oldest one.
I read somewhere that it was about girls, well, having a big mouth and getting into trouble. What was the inspiration for this song?
Oh my God, I love Trouble so much. It's me just embracing my juvenile that's inside of me, and this
I
is
can't
one
keep
of the,
my big mouth shut.
yeah, exactly. It's one of the things I love about being in the music business because you really don't ever have to grow up. You can basically just stay a kid forever. And instead of me being judgmental on myself when I'm in one of those destructive moods, and I'm just like fuck you and drink and just go crazy, like in the song, I'm not doing that. I'm saying, okay, you're a big hot mess, but I love you and it's cool, and just do your thing, and you're human, and just be a girl and go out and have fun.
Yeah. What was it like for you to write a song for your mom? Was it hard, or was it because you said the hardest song to write was for your father? But for your mom, was it hard too, or was it easier?
It was less than 10 minutes that
Okay.
song was written. And I was working on a piece that day, and I wasn't getting anywhere with it, and I was really frustrated and feeling like such a loser as a writer. And I'm out on the balcony smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden I heard the song. So I ran into the piano room, and I got out my cell phone, and I called my mother before I ever played it. And I started to play it, and I sang her the first verse and the chorus. And I didn't have the next verse yet, but I did have the first verse and the first chorus, lyric and melody done. And then I cried to her, and I to apologize that I hadn't let her know enough, or let her ever know clearly how much I love her, and thank her, really thank her for all that she did for me. I think for a lot of years I made her feel, unfortunately, that maybe when things would go wrong for me, I blamed her for not doing this enough, or not protecting me enough, or not doing this enough. And thank God, I'm so blessed that she's still alive, so I could call her and tell her, Mom, I see you. I see you. I see how much you love me and how good you were to me. And thank you for teaching me this and teaching me that and teaching me this. And and I ran down the freaking line with her, and she cried, and she was so happy to hear those words come from my mouth. So then when I hung up with her, I finished the second verse, and then that was it.
It was really quick then, like you said.
Super fast, yeah.
And are those the songs that because you said, well, the song for your dad took you 4 or 5 months to put down the lyric? This one was really
it took
easy.
me a year and a half
Year
to
and a
write
half,
the song
okay.
for my father.
And this
yeah.
this was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it for you? Does it matter if a song is written easily or if it takes more time?
When I was younger, I used to judge it, and I thought the faster it is to write it, the better of a song it is. Now I don't believe that at all. Yeah. I think that it takes what it takes for all different types of reasons, and it has nothing to do with the validity of the song. It has to do with your own personal turmoil, or your own layers of denial that you put up to survive in life, and certain layers have to be pulled back in order to get to the truth of the song, and some truths are harder to tell than others, and those are the layers that we kind of put up to protect ourselves from feeling it. But it's essential to pull it back to be creative. You have to, or if it's not truthful, it doesn't matter. Who cares, you know?
How important is this album for you?
Every record's important to me. You know, I don't think this record is any more important to me than any of the other records I've made. I mean, they matter, you know, to me. I think it's just the most important thing from the beginning for me was, you know, my idols, the people that I idolized as a young girl, were people like Van Gogh and Beethoven. And what I admired most about them was their ability to tell the truth in their art. And knowing me as a kid, with the stuff that I came up through, I had to learn how to lie to myself as a young kid to kind of survive the stuff that was going on, because I was too sensitive. So I had to put up a lot of walls for the way people thought of me or how they would treat me. You know, I I felt like I had to appear really super tough and put a big smile on my face and don't fuck with me and that kind of thing, because really I was just scared of being hurt. But the irony is that my desire was to be really honest in my work. So that was getting in my way. So with each record I've made, I'm hoping that I'm getting closer and closer to the truth. That's really the goal.
How close are you now, do you think? With these songs about Scott, your mom and dad, about music?
Well, with every record I've made, I know I've told my truth for where I was at that point in my life. The nice thing about being in my early 40s is it's obviously a very different time in my life. So there's always going to be new ways of learning how to pull back other layers. Maybe you're in different points of courage or awareness that you don't even need courage for, because you see there's nothing to be afraid of to tell this or to tell that. But funny enough, it was the most difficult record for me to write, most positive overall record, but the most painful to tell. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't
Because
even
of
know
your
if I
honest-
understand it right now.
But maybe,
You know?
maybe because of your honesty now.
Maybe. I think that there will have to be some time that goes by before I'm able to understand what this experience has been.
Do you still feel there's a wall?
Of course.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
So a lot of more music to be written.
A lot more therapy, a lot more music to be written, a lot more prayers to be done, a lot more reaching out and having more compassion for others, a lot of reaching out and having more compassion for myself. And I think the more that I work on this, the more I will be able to tell the truth in the work.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.